It is time now to connect to Congress, a segment where we talk directly to Washington lawmakers who represent us here in the Central Valley.
And this morning we are speaking with a representative of California's 22nd Congressional District, Devin Nunes, live from Washington, D.C. Good morning, Representative Nunes.
It's great to be on with you this morning.
And it's always great to have you as well. Let's get right to the question. It's on a lot of people's minds right now about Donald Trump Jr. He insists he did nothing wrong in meeting with a Russian lawyer during President Trump's campaign. Do you have any concerns about this meeting, or do you think it has any impact on national security?
Well, I've been warning about Russia for many years. So for years, Republicans and Democrats thought that we could get along with Vladimir Putin. For many years, I've been saying that you can't do that and you can't trust him. So it's no surprise to me that the Russians were trying to be involved in this election. One of the ways you would do that is you would try to send emissaries out to meet with campaigns. And in this case, it doesn't surprise me that it wouldn't surprise me, although I want to stress we don't have all the facts in this case at this point. So let the special prosecutor look into this to see if there's actually anything there. But it's not earth-shattering to find out that the Russians and Russian agents are trying to infiltrate into any campaign. And so if you remember, the Hillary Clinton campaign had many ties to Russians, including doing uranium deals, including looking at people that were possibly giving money to the Clinton Foundation. And at the same time, I think there's no question that Russians were probably trying to meet with President Trump's campaign team. So none of that surprises me. The only thing that surprises me is that people didn't listen. Mainly the Obama administration didn't listen when I was warning about Russians' continued attacks through cyber and other means of attacking the United States and our allies.
All right, we have just a few minutes for our interview, so I do want to ask you a few other questions. Just 20 minutes ago, we talked with Representative Costa about Valley Water, making sure we have water for the future here in Central California. Do you believe that projects like maybe Temperance Flat Dam or are other things a priority right now to keep the water here?
Well, as you know, as I think most people know, Temperance Flat was a project that I actually originated with me. It was legislation that I passed, and now it's been put into the state of California's hands. So the voters in California have voted overwhelmingly to put money into water storage. The problem is that the state of California continues to slow roll us. But here in Washington, I don't know if Mr. Costa mentioned this or not, but today we're going to pass for what is now I think the 6th year in a row, comprehensive water legislation out of the House of Representatives. And the challenge has been that we pass comprehensive water legislation here that helps to meet our 2.5 million acre-foot shortfall, and then it goes over to the Senate, United States Senate, and it dies. The advantage now is that the Trump administration spent a lot of time in the Valley. President Trump is a candidate. He understands the water situation, so he's actually supporting the House legislation. He's not opposing it like the Obama administration did. We'll work in a bipartisan manner in the Valley to get this bill across the floor today that's been led by David Valadao and championed by both myself and Mr. Costa. And this is legislation that, quite frankly, if the Senate doesn't want this legislation, then our two senators need to tell us what are their solutions to meet what is an average annual shortfall of 2.5 million acre feet.
Okay, we got to shift to health care now, and Senator Mitch McConnell, he just announced the delaying of the August recess in the Senate to allow more time to work on the health care bill. What would you like to see in that bill for people here in the Valley should it make its way to the House?
Well, the main thing is that we have to get something done. So Obamacare is failing. Insurance companies are dropping the plans. Medicaid is a broken system. I actually like the House pass version better than what the Senate's been working on. However, even what the Senate is working on is much better than we have with the current status of Medicaid and the current status of Obamacare. So I'm anxious to see what they come up with. The rumor this morning is that next week they could have a new bill, a new proposal out that they may be able to vote on either late next week or the following week. So, but the Senate, the House has passed over 200 bills and the Senate has been kind of at a standstill. And as you know, everyone knows we're separate bodies, so they work at their own speed and pace. But they have a lot of confirmations that they have to get done of ambassadors and positions within the Trump administration. So I actually think they should stay through most of August until they can get the backlog of legislation passed that we've sent over there and the confirmations done. As it relates to health care reform, if the Senate can pass the health care reform, I think the House should also stay in and pass whatever, either accept the Senate bill and pass it, or change the bill and send it back. But look, this fixing Obamacare and Medicaid are absolutely critical moving forward for all Americans to have access to health care coverage.
All right, Representative Devin Nunes, thank you very much for joining us this morning, and thank you for your continued representation of the Central Valley in Washington.
I really appreciate you guys having me on this morning. It's really nice to be able to do this. So thanks a lot for having us on and just making this available for us to reach out and talk to people in the Valley.
Absolutely, thank you. And you can
again.
also follow on social media with the hashtag Connect #2Congress. Coming up.